Live from 2 News. This is Talkin Real, powered by Strong Auto Group.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Talkin Real here on Talkin Sports. We're talking soccer every Thursday night here on KMYU. Brian Dunseth, apparently with the night off. He was with me in LA last night as RSL dug an early hole against the defending champs. 5th minute. Poor giveaway here. Jameson Olave. And the Galaxy with the quick counter. Ignacio Maganto into the box. Olave playing catch-up. Ball goes off his hand. Referee sees it, immediately points to the spot. It's a 4th straight game against the Galaxy where Nick Ramondes had to face a penalty kick. Juninho, who was saved, had a PK saved by Ramondo 3 weeks away. This week, he buries it. Final minutes of the match, Olave with another mistake, tracking down Robbie Keane. The two of the brief exchange. Olave gets his elbow and hands into Keane's face. It's a straight red card. RSL dropping the match in LA, 1-0 the final. Saturday night, RSL beat New York City FC, although obviously it was much more than just a win. NYCFC 11. They have 11 former RSL staffers, including head coach Jason Kreis, assistants, staffers, and several players. We thought you might like a little peek behind the scenes.
Enjoy yourselves out there tonight, boys.
Come on, boys. Go, fellas, yeah.
Lots of energy tonight, passion and commitment. All right, boys, special night, okay?
It's going to be a big night for everyone involved. And 11 former faces on the other side of the field. And can RSL dominate possession? 1 win, 1 loss, 3 draws at home. That is not the type of record that they have set here at the Fortress of Rio Tinto Stadium.
Memorial Day, people have sacrificed for this opportunity for us to have, okay? That sacrifice for each other out on the field, okay? Work hard for each other, and let's come away with a nice victory tonight, okay? Sacrifice. Let's go.
What we gonna do tonight, huh? What we gonna do? Win. What comes first? Yeah, that's it. 1, 3, fight. 1, 2, 3, fight!
Yeah, boys, go.
Listen, this is what the fans have had circled on their calendars since MLS put out this schedule. Jason Kreis, CJ Brown, Miles Joseph returning, Ned Grabavoy, Chris Winger. This is a huge game. And this is a very familiar yet unfamiliar environment for 11 former Real Salt Lake employees. It's going to be very fascinating. I'll keep using that word all night. Fascinating to see what this game looks like.
Handball. Saunders gets a piece of it. It goes up into the crowd. It is Sabo. Saunders is saved. Sandoval is rebound. And Saunders covers up. Discorrect. Shot. Oh, off the bar. Sabo the header. Sandoval. And Saunders is out. Sandoval, little flick. Sturts are in on Saunders. Side panel. RSL is on the board.
This is the response that Rio Tinto Stadium needed to see.
The win at home against NYCFC, followed by the loss in LA, leaves RSL in 7th place in the West with 17 points. But just 5 points separate second in the West from 9th place in the West. In the hyper-competitive Western Conference, every goal matters. So, how RSL juggles losing about 10 players to international play this summer, and how they handle a very busy summer schedule, those are crucial decisions. Dave Fox with the guy who's right in the middle of it all.
He is the technical director for Real Salt Lake. Craig Weibel stopping by to visit with us today. Thank you so much for coming in. Coming off that game last night against L.A., and we all kind of watched in agony as poor Nick Raimondo had to face that PK right off the bat. And David and Dunny on the call were mentioning 4th game in a row, I believe, against the Galaxy where he had to face a PK. What is it about those guys and what they're creating here against RSL?
Well, last night it was just a slow start. I mean, we came out of the gates about half asleep and conceded a penalty, and it took that to wake up. And the majority of the time, Nick's been able to save us a little bit on those, and unfortunately, he's faced too many. You know, last night the ball goes in the net, and then we woke up a little bit and even the tides out for the rest of the first half and started to take advantage of the second half. But yeah, you can't give up penalties early in a game on the road and expect great things.
How about the game from that point, though? Because the guys really played pretty well. Unfortunately, you don't get style points for that. You miss out on that. But just your thoughts on how they at least rebounded for the rest of the evening. They weren't able to punch it in. But.
Yeah, I think, we came out in a 4-2-3-1, 4-5-1. I love the semantics of formations, but really nullified what the Galaxy was going to do in the attack after the first 10 minutes and started to take control of the game. And slowly, as we inserted Javier and inserted Plata, we really saw that attacking flair and venom come back into our team. And I thought tactically we did a decent job minus the first 10 minutes. Again, the game is about one thing at the end of the day. You got to put the ball in the net in order to win. It's literally impossible to win. It's so simple. You can't win without scoring a goal. And when you give up a penalty in the first 10 minutes, you can't even draw. So, at the end of the day, we failed to do the end goal, but there was a lot of positives to take from the match, in my opinion.
The Galaxy appears to be one of those teams that, especially their attack, especially in the box, they always seem to have a plan. Doesn't always work, and it didn't work after the PK, but they really seem organized. Where do you think RSL is at this point of the season, at the other end of the field, when they're attacking in the box?
Yeah, I think, we started to see, like I said, Javier is getting healthy, Joao is getting healthy, Sebastian Jaime is getting healthy, and we're finally starting to see the full spectrum of our team and our options. And, I think we had some really good looks, some good movement off the ball, some balls we got called offside a couple times on some really creative movement and delivery. But, aside from what we've seen building up to this point of the year where it's been a lot of grind and not a lot of that creativity on the ball, we're starting to insert that back into our lineup. So over the next 2, 3, 4 matches, we expect that as these guys get healthier and we have more options to choose from, we'll be selecting the guys from our full roster that are playing the best on the day.
That gives you more options, obviously.
Absolutely.
Expand a little bit on that. Morales, Plata, those guys getting healthy. If you can articulate for the fans how much that helps your job when you can keep them on the field.
Yeah, helping my job isn't the problem right now. It's the end of this. It's everyone in this together. And whenever you're without your key players and especially guys like Javi that really not only create for himself, but he's the type of player that makes everyone else around him better. And when I played, I wasn't that guy. I was a role player. I knew my role. I didn't necessarily make the guys around me better. I did my job, and it allowed them to do theirs. Javi, Plata, Sebastian Jaime, these guys are the guys that can come in and make the guys around them better while delivering great service, great passing, great quality. And that's really, where we're trying to get is that full choice of our roster to have a go at this.
7th match in the month of May, I believe, coming up.
Yep.
A tough stretch right now. how do you juggle all this? Keep guys from, burning out or exhaustion. I mean, this week alone, it's just unbelievable. How do you balance all that?
You cross your fingers a little bit. You close your eyes. You try and think of different ways to do it. No, I mean, it's using the whole roster. And in using the whole roster, you're going to see some formation change. You're going to see some performance change. Tactically, you're going to go about games differently. And so it's really becomes a bigger view of management of the whole roster, and
right.
how do you use a player with fresh legs in the right formation and emphasize his strengths while keeping the team's overall performance under wraps. And that's a tough task, and it's a tough task, especially when you've got a depleted roster to select from. But I think our guys have done a great job. We're in a really tight conference, and we're in a great position at this point of the season to go one way or the other, and obviously we're looking forward and looking up. We're not thinking we're going anywhere else.
It's almost too early to start looking at standings and you think, okay, this is a playoff team, this is a playoff team, but you got Vancouver coming up. You're coming off LA. They're both on the road and they're 4 days apart.
Yeah.
Do you ever sit back and go, who drew this?
Well, I did that when they released the schedule, and
you looked at it immediately.
Yeah, and I looked at it and I was like, man, this is going to be tough. There's stretches that are just obviously going to be difficult. Any 3-game week is difficult, regardless of if you're at home all 3 games away. It doesn't matter. We've got another one coming up, in a little while, and it doesn't matter how you slice it. These are difficult tasks, and recovery becomes an issue, and fresh legs becomes an issue, and substitutions becomes an issue, and all these things play into how you start a match and what your plan is. In the perfect scenario, you always have your substitutions planned, and Jeff's doing a really good job right now of keeping guys as fresh as possible, given what we have. But I think our players are doing a really good job of keeping their chin up and kind of marching forward and trudging on. And we've had ups and downs, and last night was really somewhere in the middle. And it was one of the first times we've been in the middle. We've been really good and really bad this year, but that was one of the first times we've been in the middle. We could have gotten more out of the game. I don't think we deserved less than what we got. I don't think we deserved to lose necessarily. I thought we did well. I thought we created some chances. Yeah. Well, there's some games we deserve to lose. Montreal, we certainly deserved to lose.
Yeah, that was not pretty.
That's just flat out. We got stomped. But we were somewhere in the middle, and that's adding into this consistency that we need from the guys, from the substitutes, from the reserve players that are getting a lot of minutes right now. Yeah. We're finding out who's the guys down the stretch that are going to help us the most.
How do you juggle the call-up situation? I mean, you got Jordan Allen gone now, and it's just going to keep going on and on.
Yeah.
That's probably one of your biggest jobs.
Yeah, I don't sleep much.
Yeah. Does that? How do you deal so well with that?
Deal well. I appreciate that.
I'm just throwing that out there because
I'm
it's
sure the
remarkable
differs.
What you have to go through.
I'm sure the opinion differs as we go, but it's a matter of balancing those relationships with the federations. I've asked for some players not to be brought in by their federation for certain games, and I'm fostering a relationship with a lot of our national team guys. We have representatives from 6-7 different guys that represent their countries, and so it is tough to balance at times, but for the most part, most everyone in this game understands the soccer's strange because we all play for one reason, to represent our country. At the same time, the federations understand that there's a job to be done on the club side that supports this greater picture of world soccer. And so the conversations I've had have all been very, very positive in the first 6 months, and we've come to a lot of great conclusions to keep our players.
Can be frustrating at times, I suspect, for the fans and, of course, for the guy who's responsible for all of it. By the way, I was looking at the schedule. There is a stretch, I want to say 6 of 8 at home that's coming up. So that'll be
nice to sleep in our own beds.
Maybe it'll make up for some of the travel that you guys are going through right now. Craig Weibel, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Technical Director for Real Salt Lake.
RSL at Vancouver this weekend. Vancouver's proven to be dangerous this season. The Whitecaps sit close to the top of the Western Conference. They are currently in 3rd place after 13 games. That's good enough for 3rd, but the Whitecaps haven't fared as well in MLS play as of late. 1 win, 1 loss, 3 ties over the last 5 games. Although they did win their Canadian Championship semifinal against FC Edmonton, who does play in the lower division. The Caps have scored 14 goals in MLS competition, led by Octavio Rivero. He has 6. These two teams already met once this year, April 18th, Rio Tinto Stadium. RSL at home, scoreless in the 76th minute. Sebastian Salcedo comes in, challenge there, studs up, takes out Mauro Rosales, immediately gets the red. RSL playing with 10 men, scoreless 4 minutes later. Whitecaps on the attack. The deflection off Luke Mulholland and Russell Tybert gets a little time and space. Perfect cross. Darren Maddox finishes. His header finds the net. That was the game's only goal. That was Vancouver's only shot. Their only shot on goal, but it went in, and they get the full 3 points on the road. And that brings us to the keys to the game, brought to you by Masters Electrical. All right, the ball is your friend. Coach Jeff Cassar has been making a point of taking care of the ball in dangerous areas, but a giveaway in their own end set up the game's only goal in LA. They've got to do a good job of possessing the ball, especially in dangerous areas in Vancouver. Rivero is not shy. He's got 6 of Vancouver's 14 goals, almost half, obviously. He leads MLS with 48 shots. He is tied for the lead with 21 shots on goal. Vancouver has to get him involved. RSL cannot give him time and space. Keep your eye on Rivero. Fast start. Every club wants the first goal in every game, obviously. But it has been unusually important for RSL this season. They're 4-0 with a tie when they score first. They are 0-4 with a draw when they allow the first goal. It has been crucial. You'll see Vancouver and RSL Saturday afternoon here on KMYU. Our coverage starts at 3:30. We'll see you Saturday. Dave Fox has the play of the day next.